Hello and welcome. My name is Anastasia Zatula, and let's talk today about why your man might be inattentive and how to fix that. As you know, I am a Reiki master, I'm an NLP master, and I like to study and work with systemic approach. And also, I study for many years Tantra. So I will give you reasonable explanation why your man might not give you enough attention, or might not be generous enough, or might not, or is too distant. I will tell you what is the reason for that and how to fix it. I have 5 scenarios and I'm going to go through them, and I will explain to you how to fix that scenario, if that scenario is particular in your life. Usually we have the same scenarios repeating with different men. And those scenarios do not go away because they are teaching us something and we have to learn something. So as you know, my mind is analytical and I need to have an explanation. I could not just decide, okay, so this guy is just no good and that's it, no hope for him. No, I wouldn't do this for myself, and I don't want you to think like this. Men have really nothing to do with the treatment we receive. It's all inside of us. I worked for many years in finances. I worked with men. I observed men. I had men in my life. I have still men in my life. So I know how the same person could behave differently with different women. I actually had a colleague who was extremely generous, so generous. He got so deep in that just for one woman, and for another woman that he was dating, he would not even splurge on a cup of coffee. I mean, it was unbelievable. It's the brightest example of something like that. So the same person with the same capabilities, with the same financial, with the same income, with the same morals, with everything the same, was acting completely different with 2 different women. So what I want to say is that it's never a man, it's something inside of us that doesn't allow a man to act the way we would want him to act. Now, as you know, we attract men according to our level, and men outside represent the masculinity inside of us. So we have a feminine part of us, and then we have masculine part of us. Ideally, we should be 75% feminine, 25% masculine. Man should be 75% masculine, 25% feminine. But all of us has some masculinity, some femininity. Man outside will represent the masculinity that is inside of us. And why do we get men outside? Is so that they can help us to develop our masculinity inside, because the ultimate goal for us is to develop. Obviously, so we do need to have men, we do need to interact with them, we need to have this experience so we can develop inside. For example, if a man, how would I know that the masculinity inside of me is criticizing me if the man outside would not tell me something critical, something to criticize me? Or for example, how will I feel the true pleasure if I never would be intimate with the man? You see, like, we need an outside man to help us develop our man inside. So since there is only me and my own reflection in other men, it's technically the problems are always in me, and I need to find what is the problem and how to solve it. And it's not as drastic as it sounds. It's really rather easy. It's just sometimes we're so wrapped up in our grief, in our sadness, and our anger that we don't even give a chance to look at the problem. And I know it from my clients. When they come, they're angry. They just want to be angry with the man. They want me to confirm that the man is bad, when a man really has nothing to do with their own problem. So I will give these situations and I will explain what's inside of you that causes those situations. These are very common situations for everybody, really, and I will tell you how to fix it. So let's start with the first one. A man is distant and it bothers you. Now let's imagine you dating. So it's not like a husband that you see every day, who is present every day, but a man who you, let's say, dating, and he's distant. So you go on a date, you spend some time, and then for 3 days you don't hear from him. unless you text him yourselves, and you feel like, why is he so distant? Now, ideally a masculine man should be like this. So this is how it works in the energy exchange. He spends time with you, he gets all the energy, then he has all this energy, he goes into the world and he converts that energy into something material. So he does something, maybe he works, he like puts effort in his business or in some kind of connections. And then once the energy kind of run out, he needs to refill, he will come back to you. It is normal. It happens in my world all the time. It happens with men that I'm not even dating. It happens with men that I know, and I know they grasp some energy from me, they disappear, but I know they will always come back. So these situations will never bother me. I know they will be back eventually. Now, if it bothers, so it is actually normal. It's normal for a man to have his own life, to kind of not to be on your back, especially if it's a masculine man. Remember, if a man is masculine and he's not leaving your side, then there is some kind of issue. It's either he's not masculine or or you're not giving him enough energy and he's trying to grab some. Now, what's not normal is when it bothers you. This is not normal, so it shouldn't bother me, like it never bothers me. A man can disappear for a couple months, I know he will be back, I know, because well, he will get energy like mine. So men always come back to me and I have no issue with that, because I'm not codependent on them like that. I don't need a man 24/7 in my life, kind of. I love to spend time with them, but I don't need somebody who will be like, I enjoy my time with myself, the time that I can spend with my friends, with my clients, with my YouTube, something like that. So it's a problem when it bothers you. So for example, you spend the time with the man, let's say a beautiful weekend, and then you don't hear from him and you get like all worked up, like what is it? I mean, is he not going to text? Why is he not texting? Now that is a problem. And what does it show? It basically shows that you're not very secure in yourself. You don't feel secure being by yourself. So man in your life provides you security. When he's next to you, you feel okay, you feel like protected, like secure, and then he removes himself from your space and you're all unbalanced, which is wrong. It shouldn't be like that. Now, what else does it show? It shows that you put too much energy in him instead of putting it in yourself and in a relationship. Remember, a man is just a part in your relationship of you and you, kind of. So man is just a helper. He is not really a main character in this relationship. Now, it could be this man, tomorrow it could be a different man, and you will be surprised why I was so much in love with this one when this one is even better than the other one. So what I want to say is that when you put too much pressure into that particular man, he starts distancing himself. Why it bothers you? Because it bothers him, and he distances himself not because he has a lot of energy and he wants to do things, but because you're putting too much pressure on him. Ideally, your focus should be on you and on the relationship that you have. So how do you feel being in a relationship? Not on the guy, but on the relationship with the guy. So what do you like? Do you like when he holds you? Do you like when he tells you jokes? Do you like when he intimate with you? Do you like when he makes you, I don't know, pasta? I mean, something. So you should focus on what you like in the relationship, not on the guy. Again, the guy could change, but you and your feelings and your emotions will stay. So you need to cultivate that the relationship with yourself and your presentation in the relationship. So what is it that you like? Now, I even put here, his place can be taken by anybody at any time. So what do you need to do? You need to realize that the guy is just a messenger that brings you a message of how you could be when you're in a relationship. That's basically it. He came to show you that you could be very vulnerable, or maybe that you can be very sexual, or you can be very open with the right person, or not with the right person, with the right circumstances, so to say. You see, ideally you should focus on yourself and how you want to feel in the relationship. That's how ideally you should feel with the throughout your day. Even if you have a partner, even if you're married, you still should never put pressure on him alone. Because if you put the pressure on him alone, so he needs to provide security for himself, now he has this pressure for you that he needs to provide security. The guy feels a little, doesn't mean that he wouldn't provide, he would gladly provide, but he doesn't want to feel this heaviness that he must do it. I mean, he doesn't have to do nothing. He should do it out of his own kind of free will, you see? And because he doesn't really know what next him, why does it feel so heavy? He kind of distances himself little by little. So, to avoid the situation, this is what you need to do. You need to focus on yourself. If you don't hear from a man for 3-4 days, imagine that he will never appear. Imagine that he went to the moon, and that's it. He's gone. Is your life going to stop? No, it's not. I mean, what are you going to do? Maybe you can book yourself a trip to another city, or maybe you should call your friends and finally have a dinner with them, or maybe you can do something else with your, I don't know, with your family, or if you have children, with your children, or maybe you can spend this time by yourself. Maybe you can check yourself into some spa resort and spend a couple days there. So you kind of need, this is time for you to come back. You see, when a man takes the energy and goes to materialize it into something, it's time for a woman to replenish her own energy. It can't be any different. So when a man is absent, it's time for you to replenish your energy, because whether it's him or somebody else who will show up at your doorsteps, I mean, you still need to have energy. No man will want you without your beautiful energy that he was drawn to. So if you don't hear from the man, you don't react anyhow, you don't start sending him texts, you don't love me no more. No, don't send him anything. I mean, you can send him if you want something. Like, for example, you went to you went to his favorite coffee shop and like, hey, I was thinking about you, had coffee in your favorite place. Something. It's okay to text him, but it's not okay to expect him to do something, to send you messages, to reciprocate somehow. So that's what you do. So you don't focus on him. You basically out of your life for 2 days, for 3 days, for half a day. This is time for you to focus on yourself. Time for you to recharge, to get something, to get some energy into you and into your life. Maybe focus on something that you're doing, on your project, or some kind of ideas that you wanted to do. Again, you're not focusing on the guy, you're focusing on the relationship. If it's unbearable not to think about him, then don't think about him. Think about how you felt while being with him. That's what you do. Don't think about the guy. And definitely never think, oh my God, what a bad person he is. Don't do that. So remember how you guys were sitting together, how you felt good, stuff like that. All right, so this is the first one. Again, for a man to be distant is normal. A man should not be tied to you. He needs to have a freedom of doing what he needs to do. He needs to provide security for you, material security, physical security. He cannot do it by watching Netflix with you all day long. Now, it's only not normal when it starts bothering you. All right, the second situation coming out from here. A man is not calling or texting you after a date. So let's imagine you went on this beautiful date with the guy, and then he doesn't text or call at all. And you're all worried. You don't know what's going on. Why is it happening? I mean, did you do something wrong, or was he not interested? But then if he's not interested, why didn't he say? And or maybe he texted something like, thank you for the beautiful day, and then that's it. Nothing else, nothing going on. So usually the reason for it is because a woman believes she should do something to deserve attention and love. Like, usually women like this believe that they control the situation only when they're present with the guy like this. Not only with the guy. Usually they want attention, love from their parents, from their mom. So they believe if they are in front of that person, they can control the outcome. But once the person is out of their eyes, their their space. That's it. They could not control the person. This is not true. What a woman like this should start believing, that she is on the man's mind all the time, even if he doesn't text or call. She also should believe that she deserves attention just because she is. She doesn't need to jump hoops to get him to call or text her. Like, really, I have no issues getting a call or text from, and I have an issue to avoid this kind of attention. But as everybody, I also was somewhat wounded, and I had all I think all of them in my life. And I will tell you, it's kind of nerve-breaking when you expect that text and the text is not coming, or when you expect a call and it's not coming. And I also believed like this. I believe that I have to do something, that the man will not just text or call me. I'm talking about masculine men that have something to do. The feminine men, they will call you and text you just because they also need some kind of security. And you just need to, in this case, you need to understand that you are basically feeling not deserving of attention, of this man's particular attention, and you need to bring yourself up. So this is what it is. You guys met like this on the same energy level, and then somewhere inside of you, you believe that he's better than you. So he goes up and you go down. And now you have the situation in your hands when you believe that you need to do something for him to get attention to you. And this is not true. You guys already met on the same energy level. So whether you want it or not, you were matching. Whatever you made in your head, that maybe he's better, or maybe he's this amazing person, maybe everybody wants him. This is just your perception. In your mind, you lowered yourself for no reason, really. So what I would do in that situation, what you should do, you should understand that you and him are even, otherwise you would not meet. And after that, you need to kind of, if there was only a first date, you need to remember yourself on the first date, but not like, oh, I should have said this, or I should have do this, or maybe he thought I was awkward, or maybe he thought I was not appropriate, or something like that. You need to scratch all that, and you need to start remembering moments when it was good. Maybe you, I don't know, maybe you were laughing at something, or maybe you both enjoyed the food, or something like that. So you need to enjoy when it was pleasant. And then you can, when you will neutralize, when you bring yourself back to this level, when the guy is not some godsend present to you, but just a normal person, just like everybody else, and you can text him yourself. Up to you. I would text. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Once you will even the energy, you will text yourself. You will see. It always works like that. This is just an energy. When you put somebody up, you basically need to raise yourself. You can't. You see, if you will keep him if he will stay in your life, you will lower and lower and lower yourself. You need to make sure that you always stay on the same level. No matter how good the guy is, you're good too, because you match at some point. So your energy matched, whether you want it or not. It is like that. So that's what you do. You need to realize that you're an amazing person, and the guy likes you, and the guy would want to spend more time with you, and that's it. And start remembering the moments when it was not awkward, when it was really beautiful, whatever it was on the date. And you will even the energy like this, and the guy will reach out. All right, the third situation is a man states that he is not ready to commit, distances himself, doesn't introduce you to his friends, relatives, doesn't want to meet your closed ones, doesn't want to make plans, even for the nearest future. Did it happen to me? No, I don't think so. I think this is one situation that never happened to me. So what this situation shows? This situation shows that the woman is really afraid of being close to somebody. So it could be two reasons. Either she's afraid of intimacy, afraid of being committed to somebody, so she has this fear, there is some kind of fear, or she believes she does not deserve to be the chosen one for this particular man, or for any particular, it's usually for any particular man, it would be like that. In both situations, the first situation is a woman is afraid of intimacy. Usually it happens for eldest children who spend their whole youth looking after little kids, and they basically don't want to take some kind of commitment on themselves again. Or usually people that like very empathetic, that have that always try to help everybody, so they believe if they will commit to somebody, they will have to eventually take care of them or something. So that that happens often. You would be surprised. All this millennials, this generation of wounded kids, I mean, they all have this fear of being close to somebody. So it seems like the guy doesn't want to commit, but in fact it's you who is afraid to commit, and that's why he's acting like this. He's acting as you would want inside. So you're probably afraid. Probably you have a fear. What if he will invite me to meet his parents, and then I won't? So it will be almost like serious already, or something like that. It's that it could be the fear inside of you. Admit to yourself. Most of my clients, that was the fear inside of them, fear of being close to somebody. If you don't have friends, if you change friends every like 2-3 years, you have that fear. So you basically don't allow yourself to get too close to anybody, because you're afraid that if you will get too close to them, they will take advantage of you, or you will have to do something for them, or you will have to care for them. That's usually the reason. And another reason is you have a fear of not being chosen. This is usually happening to the kids, to the middle children, because they always compete with their siblings. They don't always believe that they could be chosen, they could be a priority. If that is your issue, then you obviously need to work on yourself. I mean, get rid of the fear of being intimate with somebody, being close to somebody, growing closer to somebody is one thing. But another thing, and completely different, is when you need to raise your self-worth and self-value, your self-love, to understand that you are good enough for this particular man or any man in that situation. If you have the issue with not being prioritized, with not being chosen, you will have it with every man. You probably won't have it only with men that you are not even interested with. It's a pattern that will be repeated and repeated every single time you are with the man. Now, so what do you do? I mean, I don't know what your situation is, but it's either this or either one or the other. Hardly ever it's something else, almost never. Trust me, I know women that go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. I don't say that's right, but still, they always are in the relationship. Always a man proposing to them. Always they're always married. They're always look, you can. It was me. So they always having somebody. They never single. Then there are women that are never in a relationship, and they're like, my God, I have a curse in me or something. Why I'm never in a relationship? The ones that are always in a relationship are not happy either. It's just their pattern. So one has one pattern, another has another pattern. So you just need to. It has nothing to do with the man you dating. It's basically something with you. Either you are afraid of commitment. You are afraid inside. Whether if a man is telling you, I'm not ready to commit, 100% you're afraid of commitment. He's showing you, he's telling you, you're afraid to commit. And I'm telling you this, even though I always had men in my life, been married a few times, I had this issue. I always felt like that's it, if you're with somebody, it's like I'm losing on a lot of things in my world. I don't know, but it's not so. Obviously, being with the man gives you more opportunities, gives you more abilities, and then it's not like you're stuck with him forever. You can always change the man. So if you have a fear of intimacy, you must go really deep inside of you and understand that relationship with people are not hard. I invite you to on a consultation with me, because it's either your parents or your siblings or somebody who you were caring for a long time. You were doing it for them, and then you start doing it for your friends. So for example, you have a high school friend and you're always kind of the responsible one, you're always helping her, you're always bailing her out or something. You're the one like this. You don't let people too close to yourself anymore. If you have the issue, so you need to work on that. If you have the issue that you don't believe that you could be a priority, usually when you have this issue that you don't believe you could be a priority, you start attracting men that are married or in a relationship, because you don't believe that the man could choose you, particularly you. So he can be with you, but he would not choose you. And this is obviously a very low self-esteem, and you need to work on that. Watch my video on that. Your self-love is obviously very low, because what woman with a huge self-love will want that? She will obviously want a man who will just prioritize her over anybody. Heal your inner child. These people usually have a wounded inner child. So work on that. And you will see how fast a man will want to introduce you to everybody, will want to meet your parents, will want to commit, will want to marry. Now, I should probably mention this: how to know whether a man is acting normal or he is not ready to commit. So ideally, especially if it's a masculine man, within a month he knows what he wants to do with you. Usually it's even faster. So if in 3 months he's not talking about something like let's live together, or we should marry, or even propose, then there is something that you need to change. Masculine men are very fast. They are very really spontaneous. If you want to, you can watch the video on masculine and feminine man, but masculine men are very fast. But even if he is not masculine, let's imagine it's a feminine man, still, if you have a really strong self-value, self-esteem, if you're really not afraid of intimacy, the man will commit to you very fast, especially a feminine man. If you know that you want to have a child, you want to have a family, he will jump on the opportunity. I had feminine men in my life, and when I was very sure what I want to do, they were happy that I kind of made a decision for both of us. So this is that's what you basically fixing. You either raising your self-esteem, or you fixing the issue of the fear of being intimate with somebody, being close to somebody. Again, how you can find out about it is whether you like people or not, whether you're bothered by people or not, whether you want people close in your life or not. You will see, usually people that are afraid of commitment, they don't get too close to their friends. Like, they're close, but at one point they will start distancing themselves. Like this, it's always the same pattern. I saw them at my previous in my previous career. I see it now. It's usually like this, and it's only up to you to fix. A man only shows what's inside of you, nothing else. But ideally, you should be grateful for anything your man shows you, because otherwise, how would you know you have this issue? If a man will not be against commitment, how would you know that you have commitment issues, that you have a fear of intimacy? I shouldn't say fear of being close to somebody. That's what it is. If he would never show you, you would be living as this wounded person for the rest of your life. So this is really a good thing when a man shows something like this. All right. The next one is a man easily breaks up and leaves. So if you're, let's say, dating a man, and then he's like, okay, I think we need to you tell him something like, I think we need to take a break, and he's like, fine, packs his things and out. Usually when this happens, men, especially masculine men, are rather selfish. If they have a source of really good energy, they're not going to leave that source of energy for nothing. They will fight and fight and fight. If it's a feminine man, they would fight more for convenience, more for comfort, because they're already used to this woman. But masculine men, they will fight for the source of energy that they are so used to and that they like so much. So if he out of nowhere just decided to leave, I remember when that happened to me. And I remember this guy that wanted for us to be together. He's like, okay, and I just blurted out, I think we need to break up. And he's like, okay. He just left, and I didn't hear from him for like 2 weeks. And I started to get nervous. I'm like, what was he serious? And so what does it mean? Usually it means that the woman's energy is extremely low. And with that, her self-love, self-esteem is also dropping. And because it's dropping, again, you're with the man over here. Man is taking your energy, so he is staying on the same level, but your energy is dropping. At one point, he's like, why should I be with this person who is below me energetic? Well, he wouldn't say that because he doesn't know, but he will feel like this, and he will just leave. Because masculine men are selfish, and they're selfish in a good way. Why would he be staying here out of pity? Or, as I said, if it's a feminine man, maybe they would stay and try to fix things, go to therapy, but a masculine man will move very fast. Now, and I even put here, that's why there is no point in attracting a high value man if you won't be able to hold on to them. Attracting a high value man and like a very successful man, a handsome man, a generous man, like really top-notch man is easy. It's not as easy to stay on the same energy levels. For example, you went on vacation, like all my top men I attracted after I was really high. For example, you go on vacation and you spend like a beautiful week in some resort, and you pamper yourself with massages and amazing dinners and everything, and you just enjoy yourself. And at that moment you meet somebody because you're high, your usual energy level is here, and then it raises up. Why? Because you created this atmosphere, right? You went somewhere new, you don't have to cook for some breakfast. I mean, let's imagine all-inclusive resort. You go to massages every day, so somebody is pampering your body. I mean, you're on the sun, in the water, so you feel really great. So usually your energy is like this, you raise it up like this, you met a man who is here, but then you went back to your real life and you drop. Now, and that happened to me a few times, honestly. And when you meet a man like this, ideally would be for you to stay in this level, to stay and keep yourself there, so the man will not just disappear from your life. When that happened to me first time, I didn't know about that. So I was sad. I felt kind of defeated, I would say. But I knew it was this is how I felt. I felt like it was too good to be true. Like the vacation was over, I was back to work, and I'm like, yeah, I think it was like almost a mirage. Something happened, I didn't know how it happened. I couldn't even imagine this man would be interested in me like that. Why would I think like this? Honestly, it doesn't make no sense. So now when I'm attracting men like this, I know I attracted you on a very high energy, and all I need, I just need to keep the energy. But my energy right now is pretty consistent. I mean, yeah, there are days when I drop really low, but I bounce back very fast. So it doesn't happen to me that often. All right, so what do? I mean, you need to fix it somehow, right? So how to attract, I even put here, to attract a high value man is easy. You just need to be really high for a few days, not high on something, high on your own energy. So in particular periods of your months, you know when it is, like a few days before ovulation, your energy is high. So use that energy, like really feed yourself with this self-love and everything. Raise yourself so high that you don't feel your body, that you almost that you don't feel the chair you're sitting on, that you almost like elevating, and keep yourself there for a few days, and you will see, you will probably bump into a guy like this. It happens to me every single time. Then what happens, usually our energy starts naturally dropping because it's normal, and we start like seeing like it was not really real like that. So what you need to do, you just need to keep the energy high, that's all. Now, why would you drop? I will tell you how it happened. So I was high, I was really focusing on myself, I was all in my self-love. Then I met this guy, and I'm amazed. I mean, such an amazing man in my life. So now I'm not focusing on my self-love, now I'm focusing on him, and I'm thinking about him. So I'm betraying, I'm out of my energy field. I'm in trying to be in his energy field, because I'm thinking, if I will think about him, it gives me pleasure, I would draw him closer to me, which is not true. Ideally, at those moments, what I should do, I should continue focusing on myself, continue being in this self-love kind of energy, and just stay in there. Let him want to be. He was drawn to this energy, so I need to keep it for him to want to stay in my space until this high becomes a new normal for me. And once it will become new normal for me, he will just stay with me forever and ever. And that's just it. So remember, we all have our standards and our norms. A man has a particular standard of how much energy he gets from a woman. Every man is like this. It's not something new. Every women are like this too, especially masculine women. So it's normal for him to expect a particular amount of energy. Now, you can give him this amount of energy, but then your energy drops, and he doesn't see a point of being with you, because energetically he's used to a particular amount of energy. And he can tell you anything, like whatever, that he can come up with some kind of excuse, but inside he knows what it is. There is not enough energy for you to give to him. And since we produce the energy inside of ourselves, and it's easy, I mean just create more energy, and the man will just stay next to you. There's nothing wrong with that. So this is exactly what I put. It was, I think, second time when it happened to me. I was really high for a few days. I was in Spain. I went to Spain. It was like one of my first trips to Europe, and I remember I was high in my own supply. I mean, I love history so much. Plus, it was like really beautiful. I was in Mallorca with my family. I mean, I was like flying. Everything was perfect. I mean, the resort was perfect. The whole island was perfect. We were driving around, traveling, trying new foods. I mean, Spanish people, they're very kind of, they used to, I don't know now, but they very welcoming, very warm, and like everything was just so perfect. And I remember I started talking to this man back in New York, and the conversation was just flowing so smooth. It was perfect. I was like, my God, my Prince Charming. And when I came back to New York, it was already fall, so it started to rain. It was a little miserable. Plus, I had to go back to work, so my energy was dropping until I started picking on him. I was picking the arguments with him, and we drifted apart. Funny enough that he reappeared next March, because again I went on vacation to Florida, and again I felt like that. So this is normal. I could not blame him. I know why it was happening, and ideally I wanted to stay on that level, not to keep him, but to be but it was just amazing feeling to have this feeling of excitement, feeling of something new, feeling of being relaxed, being just high on life. So what do you need to do if a man easily breaks up and leaves and doesn't even want to fix nothing? That means that your energy dropped really low. That's it, to the point that of no return. Like if he leaves and comes back, there is still some kind of hope. But if he already like, okay, that's fine, I'm out, and he just leaves, that means that you really need to work on your energy. That happened to me. I was actually in a relationship with the guy like this. He was very masculine, so he would reappear, we're a happy couple for 2 weeks, and then he would disappear again. It was never on his kind of it was never his goal to disappear. But every time he would appear, I would be so happy for a few days, and then I would start dropping again in my energy, because I would be thinking only about him, only what I can do better, only on what, and he couldn't, there was nothing from me to take anymore, because I was thinking about him instead of thinking about myself. So he would disappear again for a month, so a couple months, and he will appear again. I mean, I would be mad, I would be angry. He would come back with flowers and presents. I mean, he was not cheating on me, he would just live his life, and I would have time to recharge myself a little bit. So I would be hurt for a couple of weeks, but then I would start living, I would start focusing on myself again, I would start kind of recharging my batteries, and once they would be fully recharged, he would appear again. And it was going for, like, this yo-yo was going back and forth for some time. So what I want to say, don't blame the man. If a man just leaves you like that, that means that your energy is very low. You've been betraying yourself for a while. Now, if he cheats on you, you definitely will betray. But at this point, if he just leaves, it means that your energy is low and you need to replenish it. You need to focus on yourself. So just get back to yourself. Be selfish. If you are still with the man and you feel like something is going, something is off, tell him, listen, I'm exhausted. Why don't I take time for myself? You know, I would gladly go and stay in one hotel or somewhere for a few days. I just want to pamper myself. I want to get myself some massages. I want to spend time and recharge. And he will give you the money. You will see, a man will happily do something for you if you will choose yourself for once. So this is what you need to do. Again, a man is in a relationship for the energy, as you are for the security, and in the long run for mutual development. But he is here for energy. If you don't have the energy, I mean, don't blame him. He you know what is he here for. I tell you this every single time. Man comes to you for your energy. If you don't have it, then sorry. You would think that he's with you for sex. No, he's not. I mean, that commodity is pretty cheap. He can get it from anywhere. But if he stick around with you, if he's with you for a reason, then that's because you have the energy that he really likes and wants. All right. So if a man leaves, then your energy is very low, and you need to work on your self-love, and you need to get back into your aura, into your space. You need to start focusing on yourself. How you can do this? You can start with sitting half an hour a day on a chair like this. Just sit, relax, and just feel I'm loved, and just feel, just emphasize this feeling. Watch the video on the heart chakra, and feel the pleasure inside of you, feel the love. And he will be back very fast. You will see. I don't know whether you will want him, but he will be back. Men are always back. They know where they have their sources of energy. If you are intimate with the man for 7 years, he's tied to you. You can always summon him back, so to say. Sometimes even longer, depending on your energy. So a man is not just disappearing. If you will want, he will be back. Okay. And the last one, my pet peeve, I guess. A man doesn't spend money on a woman. And that happened to me a few times. It was like really my thing. It was so funny because right now men spend money on me, and and sometimes I'm feeling like, did it really happen to me? Was it like this? And it was not really something like dates. It was more like presents, flowers, like some interesting stuff. So why would the man, I put this in here, the situation, because for some people, giving something a woman is a sign of attention, right? So if when you feel like a man is not giving you nothing, you feel like he's not really giving you the attention that you want, or according to your love language. And again, as I said, it has nothing to do with the man. If you feel like, well, he doesn't make that much money, how can I expect something from him? Has nothing to do with how much he makes. As I said, I had a colleague who got in debt for over $100,000, and he would gladly get into more debt for this particular woman if she wouldn't dropped him. But with somebody else, he didn't even want to buy her coffee. So it has nothing to do with the man, it has something to do with you. And usually when a man is not spending money on a woman, it means that the masculinity inside of her does not do it, does not believe that it's capable of, or femininity inside doesn't believe that it deserves. If the femininity inside of you doesn't believe that it deserves, the masculinity will not do it. Or if the masculinity doesn't do it, the femininity will basically believe that the masculinity could not. For example, how to know whether it is your case or not. Can you buy yourself, like me for example, I could not buy myself a Hermes bag. I could not. I could probably buy it, I mean, if but I would not. Why? Because it's not practical. I don't know. It like first of all, I don't like those bags. Second, I don't think it's practical. It's 20 grand at least, and for what? For a bag? Like, you see, so I feel like this. I mean, the men that I date, they feel just the same, and for them 20,000 is like a drop of water in a lake. So, but I don't believe that this purchase would be justified. I don't believe that. I don't think my energy level is still there. You see, if my energy would be higher than it is now, I would probably assume that 20,000 bag, I mean, it should be normal. But I don't believe like this, you see. Now, on the other hand, I do believe that I deserve fresh flowers all the time, so I get them all the time. I also believe that I deserve to eat out every day, so I do eat out and men gladly buy me food. I mean, I believe that I deserve presents within like 2,000-3,000. I buy them myself, so the men buy them too. Like this, you see. Now you will say, well, why would I need a man if I can buy it all myself? Well, why should you buy it all yourself? You can invest your money, you can spend it on something else, you can spend it on consultations with me, on energy alignments. I mean, the man wants to do something for you. Give him this opportunity, let him care for you. Usually you will notice a man and a woman are always matched according to because they're on the same energy level, they're matched according to their standards. So if a woman can afford to buy herself diamonds, she will have a man who will be buying her diamonds. If she needs to save for diamonds, she will get a man whose income is to save for diamonds. So ideally, there is no point in blaming a man. All you need to do is just expand your first chakra and your self-love. Your first chakra responds for your normality. If it's really big, then your normality is to live in a castle and wear a tiara for dinner every single day. Now, if you don't believe in that, then don't blame that you have men that could not afford a castle and tiaras. It's just, that's how it is. Now, the other one, so this is the first one. Your masculinity could not. Your masculinity doesn't do it for you. The second one is your femininity doesn't believe that it deserves. I mean, that's even worse. That's like, why wouldn't you believe that you're not worth? You see, with Hermes bag, I don't believe that I'm not worth it. I just believe that it's a bad investment. Again, because maybe my first chakra is not as wide, and I just don't see a point in spending 20,000 a bag when I can maybe spend it on something new, wise, or maybe financial background is speaking to me. But the whole point is that I do believe that I deserve that bag. It's just I don't think it's wise to spend so much on a bag. Now, but I do have clients that believe that don't deserve. Not true. Don't believe that they are not worthy of that particular item. Like me, for example, if I don't think I deserve a private plane right now. I wouldn't lie to you. If somebody would would I ask somebody to gift me a private plane? No, because I don't even believe that something extravagant like that is that I can pull it together with something like that. So I would feel like maybe I will owe or some. It wouldn't be an easy for me, an easy present. So what I want to say is that see how a man is spending money on you. He basically, at that point, a man is showing you how your masculinity is. For example, if your masculinity inside is weak and not accomplished, you will be afraid to spend money on anything. Like buying toilet paper would be stress, and the man will show you. If a man is sitting and complaining about the bills, probably because inside of you are sitting and complaining about bills every day. Maybe you're worried about those bills all the time. So a man is just reflecting to you. Now, if a man easily spends money and then he's left with nothing, then you're just a spender and not thinking about the future. So a man will always reflect, and you just need to work on your masculinity and femininity inside of you. Ideally, this is how it should be. Ideally, your femininity should grow. So, for example, you got a bag for, let's say, $500. The next bag should be $1,000, and then the next bag should be $1,500. Like you expanding little by little your wishes and desires. Now your masculinity easily matches the growth of the femininity. So your masculinity knows, okay, so we're buying a bag for 500 right now. For the next year, I need to make sure I have 1,000 for her for the new bag, like this. It's both sides are inside of you. It's not like you will see it. I did it for myself. I was able to stretch myself like this. Like I was basically for I think like 2 or 3 years I was just doing that. Like my lingerie, I started with Victoria's Secret, then I went to Intimissimi. No, I think it was Cosabella first, then Intimissimi. Right now I do like a few pieces from La Perla. So what I want to say is you need to stretch yourself. You can't and your masculinity will do that. The same with you, depending on your masculinity. You see, my Mars is in Capricorn, so my masculinity is consistent, but it's not fast moving. Now if you have a Mars in Leo, you probably will go shopping any day and just spend everything, and then you'll be thinking, my God, how I'm going to pay rent. Or if you have a Mars in Libra, you probably will have no problem spending either. But again, it depends. So if you have a man that shows you that, don't be angry with him. Don't tell me, my God, why am I having such a cheap man? No, don't do that. He's just a man, and he's showing what's inside of you. So ideally, you should want something, and you should be confident that you deserve that, and you should be confident that that's something that you want and that you need, something that you deserve, that you're worthy enough, that you're filled up with love, and you must have this thing. And ideally, you should express that wish. If you believe that you deserve it, you wouldn't have no problem to express that wish. So once you will express that wish, give them masculinity a chance to do it, you will get the presence that you can get for yourself. That makes sense. So like this. Like the mentor that I had for many years, her husband started with no presence, then he started buying her designer stuff, and then he did the diamonds kind of. She had the stage, and then they ended up with not enough. But the last time I spoke to her, it was he bought her a condo in Dubai. Why was it? She was just the same. She was first she was not buying nothing because she was saving the money. Then she started buying. She got this taste for designer stuff, so she was buying all this designer stuff. Then I guess she went to a couple places. I'm not sure, but she started liking diamonds. She was putting it all over her Instagram and everything. So she started buying herself diamonds. He started buying her diamonds. And with the apartment, I'm not sure whether she was planning to buy it or not. But he bought it for her, but she was capable of buying that apartment herself. What I want to say is that a man will match what you are capable of. If your man does not buy you I don't know, a $30,000 ring, it's because you just don't believe that that ring is for you right now. Your masculinity would never buy that ring. So don't expect it from a man. I don't want to be harsh. You see, this is probably the situation that really bothered me for a long time. But now I understand why it's happening. Right now, if a man will not tell me, if I ask him, can you buy me a private plane to, could you book a private plane for me to fly to, I don't know, to Miami? And the guy will be like, you must be, you must be joking. I would not get mad with him because I would not even consider doing it myself. So, like, I mean, so I can expect him to offer me business class probably, but that's the most I can expect him to do. I'm not going to be angry with that. You see, I'm not going to be angry because I'm not yet on that level, and the energy is raising slowly. See, you don't. Now, if you have fire energy or air energy, you might raise fast, but you might drop very fast too. So I would rather you raise your energy slowly. Again, you need to expand though. Can't be stand on the same level. You have to expand. But don't blame the man if he's not suddenly is not. You listen to my how to be a gold digger, and he's not suddenly buying you all the presents that you want them. It's not really inside of him. All right, so that's it. Please do send this video to your friends that constantly complain to you about men that are in need to see the perspective from their side. It's always you. It's never man. You know, as wrong maybe as it sounds, the power is in you. Don't give your power to somebody else. That's not how it works. So again, the situations, so it's always in you. Remember, man is only reflecting what is inside of you. You always match on particular level, and then the energy either usually drops, and you just need to find a way how to get back to your previous self. That's how it is. So if a man is distant and bothers you, that means that you're putting too much pressure onto him and not on yourself and the relationship. Now, if a man is not calling you, texting you after a date, that means that you believe that you need to do something to deserve his attention. So you need to be constant entertainer to get his attention. Once you're out of his sight, he's not, change that. The third one is if a man stays that he's not for commitment, he doesn't want to introduce it to his friends, he's kind of like, you know, he doesn't want to be introduced to your family, that means that you either don't believe that you could be chosen, or you have fear of intimacy, fear of being close to somebody inside of you. Again, it has nothing to do with him. I knew a few men like this that were telling their woman that they're not ready to commit, and then they, like after they break up next month, they are married to somebody else already. It's strange. It happens often. And then a man easily leaves, breaks up. Doesn't even try to fight. Basically, your energy is very low. You need to recharge. There's nothing to do with the man. You will recharge your energy, and he will be right back on your doorsteps. And then you decide whether you want him back or not, or you can put conditions. I have this acquaintance, she has this list for everything that the man does wrong. Like if, for example, he didn't text her for 3 days, then he has to buy her a small present. If he didn't wish her happy birthday, then he buys her 2 birthday presents, something. There is a whole list. I even had it somewhere. All right, so if a man doesn't spend money on a woman, then her masculinity is weak, or she doesn't believe that she deserves it. She needs to work with herself. Once I fix it, those men that were not spending money on me are spending now, and I'm not even dating them. That's how it is. You see, the same man, the same me, the same man. All I had to do is change something inside of me. And we are not even dating. That's the funny thing. That when we were dating, they would not give me nothing. Right now we're not dating, and they're giving me. The same man, the same me. All I had to do is change something inside of me. That's all. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Please let me know what you think about this. Tell me your situation. Maybe I didn't cover all of them. I thought I did, but maybe there are situations that I didn't that I didn't heard of. Could be. Tell me, let me know in the comments, ask questions, please follow, like, send it to somebody who can who can benefit from it, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye everybody, enjoy your day.